Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, I have discussed about how can working with the joy package. Now in this video, I want to discuss about that update method. So into this update, there are the two method. One is the put method, another is the patch method. So as I told you, when you update like as a product information, if you want to update all that information, then you can actually use that as a put method. But when you update a specific some of the things for this product, then you can actually use that patch method. So in this video, I want to discuss about that put method. Laterly in our next video, I will discuss about the patch method. Now let's do that work. For doing this, first of all, I'm going to create one of the route for this. That will be as a app and then our put method. Okay, I make it as a put method. So that is our put method. And into this area, I want to declare one of the route. I name that as a API. Okay, API and then the products. And also we have to update with a specific some of the ID, right? So if you want to update this ID, then we have to use that as a ID. That will be dynamic ID. I simply pass it. I hope you already remember that part. We have already done it. Now that will be our request handler. That will be as a request, right? That will be as a request, and also another one is a two parameter as a response parameter. Simply I take it. That is our array function, and here now we have to work. So now first of all, I want to create one of the request. I better copy it. Now go to our API, that means Postman. Into this Postman, I want to create another new request as a add request, and I just name it as a update a specific product. Or rather than I make it as a put. Okay, for a better understanding, I make it as a put. Now click as a save. Now that is our save. Great. So here what exactly I want to do, I want to update it. Like if you go to our show the get method, here I have already get all that our data, right? There is a ID1 name, and there is ID2, and then ID, that is our another ID, right? It's automatically generated one of the ID. So I want to update a specific one ID data. Okay, so if you want to update that a specific one ID data name and then price, so both of this now want to update. Okay, if you want to update this, better I copy it, and now that is our update. Here I make it, that will be as a put method. Okay, into this put method, if you go to that body and then the row, and then here I want to simply pass it. Okay, that will be as a two things. One is the name and another is the price. So I want to update as a name, like right now as a orange update. Okay, I want to update this name as a orange update, and I update that value will be as a 200 right now. Okay, so a specific one ID, this data I want to update. Perfect. And also there is one of the JSON format data. For the reasons here we have to make it as a JSON. Okay, so that is our JSON. Perfect. And then our URL, I have already done this, our URL, that will be the API and then products, then the ID, right? So I want to do better here. I copy it. Okay, I copy total route. So that will be our total route, and there is the API and then the products, and make that sure spelling correct as API products, API and then the products, and then I want to update which ID. I want to update that one ID, right? So for the reasons here we have to pass that as a 1. So now if you click as a send, then that should be executed. So now we have to work for this. We have to code some of the things in here. So here first of all I want to add some of the validation that I have already done before. Here you can see I have already done some of the validation. So now better I copy it. I simply copy everything. For our insert product, I have already added that our validation, right? Now I copy it. Now I want to access it in here. So after that I paste it. Okay, I simply paste it in particular that position. So that is our ended one, and I put on the semicolon. Great. So that is our first validation. It will be check all that validation. If there have any issues, then that will be display all that our error message, right? I hope it's very much clear to you. And now after that we have to check, right? We have to check all that things in our array. So if you want to check it, like better I take another variable as a constant variable. I name it as an index, and into this index, that is the same procedure. I have already get all that our data, that means our array data in our which variable, that is in our products, right? So into this products area, now I want to check it at the same procedure. Now we have to check it with the find index method. So with this find index method, I want to check our this database table field as ID, when that will be matched with our requested ID. Okay, that is our requested ID. When that will be matched, then I want to update. Simple work. Okay, now that is our products. So that is our array data. I want to access it right now. There is index and the products, and into this products now to use that as a find index method. Okay, so into this find index method area, here I want to pass that our product, okay, product, and then that will be on the callback function. I want to simply call it, and that will be our product. That is a product ID, right? The product ID means what? That is in our array that have also one of the ID. So that is actually our product ID. When this product ID will be matched with our requested ID, that means equal our requested ID means what? Our requested ID means our this ID. Right, so if you want to access our ID, that is in our params, right? That means here we have to get it by the request, and then the params, so the requested params ID. So we get this ID in here. Okay, when that will be matched, I want to do then it should be successfully get this data. Rather than if there have any issues, it should be return one of the -1 value. Okay, if you didn't get any data, like I say, if you search anything which is not exist, then that will be actually return one of the -1. So I want to do with this -1, I want to add another condition. I put one of the if condition. Okay, I simply added that if condition, and that is our condition. Into this if condition area, when our index, because I have already taken it into this index, when this index will be equal -1. Okay, when it will be as a -1, I want to return response another as a 404 value. That means that will be return our response status code. I want to do and to pass it as a 404. Okay, 404. I simply pass it, and then I want to make it that will be as a JSON data. So I simply loaded that some of the JSON data area. I want to pass on the message. Okay, I have already discussed about that, the message of functionality. So our message will be what? Our message will be as a product is not found, okay, with this ID. So this type of one of the message, then that will be display. Okay friend, I hope it's very much clear to you. So as I told you, when it will be find it with our find index method, it will be checked. That is our product ID. Product ID means our array, right? I have already get all that our array data into this array. That is one of the ID as a product ID. Okay, here if you go to that our get, so that is actually our array ID. So that is our array ID. It should be matched with our requested ID. Okay, so that is actually our requested ID. When both of these will be matched, and then that will be get all the data, rather than it will be return one of the -1. So for the -1, it will be return -1 in here. Okay, I will show you that it should be displayed in here as a -1. So when it will be get that -1, I want to make it as a return status as a 404, and that will be as a JSON format data. Into the JSON area, I want to pass on the name as a product is not found in with this ID. Okay, product, that will be the PRODUCT, product is not found with this ID. That type of one of the message, then that will be display. Rather than when it will be perfectly get this data, then I want to do and to simply update it, right? Here we have to update both of these. So I have get everything in our index, that means in our products. So that will be our product. So into the product, that is our index area. So here I want to do and to take it as an index, right? That is our index. So into this index, I want to access that name. Our name should be updated, that means that is our in our body area, that will be updated. That is our request, and into this request, that is our body, and then into the body area, our name will be updated. And same as for our price. So I have already get every data in our index, right? So that is the index, and into this index, I want to access that our price will be same, our requested a body, and then price. Okay, price. I simply updated both of this in here. So that is our total data. I take the things with this index. So now there is an index array name, and then price will be updated. Okay, and now we have to also change it. We have to make it as a JSON format data. So if you want to make this JSON format data, then that will be as a return, and in the return, our response will be what? Our response will be as a JSON format, right? So that is our JSON format, and into the JSON format area, I name it as a product. Okay, product. Our product value will be what? Our product value will be our this products index. Okay, so that means that then that will be updated in here. Perfect. So that's all you have to do. Now I want to do and to check it, click as a save all. Okay, click as a save all, and first of all I want to do and to check our first validation. Okay, if there have any, it's not get that as any data, that means when our ID will be not found, then that will be returned as a -1. When it should be displayed as a -1, then our message should be displayed. Okay, Now let's check this out. That is our put method. Like right now I make it as a 14 something. So this ID is not exist, right? So this ID is not exist. Now if you click as a send, now it shows some of the error as schema is not defined. Okay, schema is not defined. Maybe if you go, that is our product up, that is a specific update for the put method. You can see that is a schema and then validate, and also I copy it from here, right? I copy it from to this position. That is our show specific product, insert product, right? So from to this insert, that is our another schema. Okay, so I want to do better. I want to create another function. So with this function we can actually right now, that is I call it into the two places. So with this function I want to do and to actually call it, then that will be better, right? Then we can actually use it very easy way. So after this I want to take another function. Okay, I want to create another function and just name that function as a validation. Okay, validation. I simply pass that validation into the validation area. I want to pass all that our body data, right? Because it should be validated in our body. I pass on the parameter in here, and then I want to simply take all that our common code. Okay, that means right now from our insert, from to the insert I want to actually take it. That is our schema, and there is a return. I simply copy total things from here, and now I want to add it. Okay, I want to add it into this function area, that is a validation, and here right now I want to simply return it. Okay, here we don't need this. I want to return our total validate function. So I make it as a return. I simply return this schema validation. Great. And in our this request right now we don't need any request. That will be our body. Okay, so I simply close it. So that will be our body. So I get all that our validation code in our this function name as a validation function. Now we can actually call only this validation function. Everything will be in here. I only want to call this validation. Okay, so now I copy it, and now I want to update this first of all in our insert product. Okay, into the insert product here. Here I want to take that things in here. I take one of the constant variable as a constant, and here I pass that one of the error. Okay, I pass that as an error, and into this error area I want to call our method name as a validation method, and into this method area now that will be our requested body. Okay, that means that is our request and then requested body. I simply take the things in here. Right now everything in our this validation method, right now we don't need this. Okay, and I simply remove everything from here. Okay, simply remove everything from here. Now that will be only one line. Okay, that is simply now one line as a constant, and then error, and then validate request. Okay, now I want to call this same things. Right now we don't need this. I copy it right now from our product insert. I copy it, and now if you go our this part, here you can see before I did this thing like that way. Now I simply paste it. Okay, now that will be like that. So I simply call our method name as a validation method. Now that should be work perfect. Now click as a save all. Okay, now click as a save all. See if there have as a minus. If you didn't get that any ID, then that should be displayed out this message, right? Now go to our postman again, and there is an update. I don't need this. Now click as a send. Yes, you can see it's now successful. It's now perfectly get our message. Right now this ID is not exists. For the reason system display as a product is not found with this ID. Okay, that means our this first validation is successfully working. And now I want to update it. So if I want to update, like here I also want to check that validation when that will be empty. Okay, then what exactly that will be do. Now click as a send. Yeah, you can see it's also successfully get our another error as a price is required. Okay, here I make both of these field as a required. For the reasons you can see it's also successfully working. Great. Now I want to update. I want to update our like as a one ID data. Now that should be updated as a orange one. So if you want to update it, then that will be, I want to pass that our ID as a one ID. Okay. So into this one ID, now that should be updated as a orange update, and then 200. Before that was as a 20, and then the orange. Now let's check this out if everything okay. Now that should be updated. Click as a send. You can see it's now successfully updated. There is a product ID 1. Now this name is our orange update and price is 200. If you go to again our get method, now click as a send. Yes, you can see it's now successfully updated. Okay friends, so here we both of this, our field is updated. How can do that work? I hope every part is very much clear to you. And also we successfully check our all that validation and how can display this validation message. I hope you understand it. Okay, now great. So now we successfully done that our put method. So with this put method we can update our specific some of the ID. In our next video I'm going to discuss about our another features, how can working with the patch method. I will show you that things with the live example. So thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video.